This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2025 Acura Integra, $289 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2025 Acura RDX, $399 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom. I'd like to wish you a happy holiday season and a healthy and prosperous new year from your favorite lawyers at Welt and Rayom.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing, And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
The lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla, not $24,000, $20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is...
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in that corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you can get some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is...
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2024 Acura ZDX, $299 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty, welcome aboard. Time to rock and roll. Sorry I took a little long there. We're hanging out, talking, having some fun with my man Larry Schlossberg out here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Hope you all are doing well. I'm still preparing for the show, as you can tell, which is, it's a multitasking type of thing. And I'm always ready to multitask. That's how it goes. Anyway, on a beautiful Friday, we made it. We got the weekend. You know what? I was thinking about this morning. What's it say about my life that I have to watch the Pop-Tarts Bowl? Seriously. I mean, I am really a first-class loser. I've got to watch the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Like, when I was a kid, or young, let's say, but I could say I was a kid considering my age now. But when I was young and we would make like the Peach Bowl in the Jim Kelly days, things like that, it was like a big thing. It was a headline in the Miami News and whatever and all that kind of stuff. I could remember all that. And it was new to me, it was new to all of us because we weren't used to the University of Miami being successful. We weren't used to them going to any kind of bowl game, so it was refreshing. But now, decades later, and then 2 decades of being just absolutely mediocre, which is what the Canes are. They're a mediocre program. They've been a mediocre program for a long time. And so for me, this is like, I want you to get back to being respectable. And it's hard for me to take you seriously when you're playing in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. And so when I'm going to watch that tomorrow, I am not going to be taking that seriously. You know what I'm saying? It's like the cute little run that the Heat has made with Jimmy Butler. It's a cute little run, but really it's not a real I never looked at it as too many of you looked at it as like a run of substance or something, like there was something real or something in those teams. And no, it was a flukish time where things went your way, and that's about it, And for the Canes now, I'm sitting there and I'm going, man, I got to watch this. After all this money and all this hype, this dude can't even get to a decent bowl game. Yesterday there was some commits, and it's nice. And we'll talk with Manny Navarro about it, but you got to be better on the sidelines, bro. You can't spend this kind of money and you're in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. That's just sad on every level that I could ever imagine. The Pop-Tarts Bowl. Are you kidding me? Come on, man. Pop-Tarts Bowl. And by the way, don't lose the Pop-Tarts Bowl. That's the worst part for the Canes. They got nothing to gain from this. Winning the Pop-Tarts Bowl is, I know what you guys are going to tell me, hey, at least they won a bowl game. They haven't won a bowl game in forever. Okay, that's great. You won the Pop-Tarts Bowl and you beat Iowa State. But if you lose to Iowa State and you lose the Pop-Tarts Bowl, man, it's already a disappointing season. It will be an absolutely disgraceful season if you lose the Pop-Tarts Bowl. But my loser ass will be watching, what is it, at 3:30 tomorrow? 3:30. 3:30 tomorrow on ABC. I will be one of the losers watching the Pop-Tarts Bowl. By the way, which one of you losers watched last night's game? Did you watch it last night? Were you a loser?
I always put
in
the
the
Thursday
background
night game on as I'm doing the audio and the videos. Just I can hear Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit. The dulcet tones of their voices.
God, I saw that and I go
trying to make it sound good too. That's the whole thing about it. Even though last night at one point they got so bad, they were like, "This is bad football."
I had zero interest in watching that game. I went out with the wife. We went to Flanagan's. I had myself a Dolphins sandwich. So what else? And then we went to some supermarket that's close by called Sprouts Farmers Market. We have a new one there called Sprouts. I'd never been in there.
It's kind of like seated table.
Yeah,
or it's like
I've never
fresh
even
from the farm.
I've never been a seated table. I don't know what that is.
Seated table is just everything they grow.
Yeah,
they grow them on the farms and they bring them in. It's like the fresh.
No. It's not like. It's like a little super. It's like a little. It's kind of like It's not.
Sounds like it's like a vegetable fruit market. I've never been. I've driven by them, but I've never been in one.
It's kind of like a Whole Foods.
Okay.
But a starving Whole Foods. It's like a poor man's Whole Foods.
Okay. All right. So
smaller version, lesser version of it, some organic stuff, a bunch of vegetables and fruits and all kinds. I walked in. It was all right. I wanted to check it out. I saw one of our listeners actually there because he said Big O. I always get that everywhere, like you'll hear a Big O, and I gotta like look around.
You gotta start doing
they're throwing it just out there, like to see, is that really him? Is that him? And then I look back, I go, yes, sir. And he goes, oh, it is you. Okay.
You gotta start messing with them. Be like, I get that all the time, but no.
Oh man. Anyway, so yeah, I just I had better things to do. And as you can tell, then actually watch that sorry ass game last night, which ended 6-3, right? Last night, 6-3 was the final. I have it here for our 3A Graphics sports headlines. 6-3 final. I said and by the way, going off this, I saw that 6-3, right? And I just went and I saw like tomorrow we got Chargers and Patriots. Terrible game. Okay. Broncos, Bengals, good game. Cardinals, Rams, decent game there, right? Right, but get ready for this. Here's Sunday. Jets, Bills. That's vomit inducing. Raiders, Saints, coma inducing. Colts, Giants, herpes inducing. Dallas Eagles, that just might as well rip your veins out. Panthers, Ravens. Like, what? Who wants to watch the Panthers? Are you kidding me? Titans, Jags. Wait a minute, it's not Ravens, it's Bucks. I'm sorry, not Bucks. It's just my writing is really bad. Panthers, Bucks, terrible. Titans, Jags. Oh my God, that's death right there. Titans, Jags. Okay, Finns, Browns. It's only interesting to us. The rest of the country doesn't give a shit about the Finns or the Browns. The marquee game of the week, Packers, Vikings. And then you go back to Falcons, Commanders. Okay, like the Falcons are unwatchable, but I get it. The Commanders, at least with the young kid, Jaden and them, they're doing well. That's a fun team to watch. And then Monday, you do have the Lions and the Niners. Niners are kind of dead in the water, but still, it's a half-decent game. But compared to the entire slate on Sunday, I mean, the slate on Sunday is maybe one of the worst slates of football I have ever seen in my life. Most of those games, you want nothing to do with them. Unwatchable shit, dude. It's like the stuff that we won't admit to ourselves. As much as we love the sport, that's some unwatchable shit, dude. You know? And it's just gotten to that point where there are some games that you end up saying, oh, it's turned into an interesting game. Well, that's because they're two mediocre teams. You know what I mean? Like the Dallas game the other day that it turned into, because both teams suck, dude. That's right. You watch two shitty teams play down to the wire. That doesn't make it a good game. But it's interesting. It's really fun. Anyway, so welcome aboard. We got Joseph locking it in, number 1 in. Hero with the game winner last night. Yes, sir. We'll give them a victory cigar in a minute. Captain Saki in Tarpon Springs. Oscar Rojas. Gus 1388. Jay Gelfin. Jeff in Long Island. Kyle Cockrell. Dolphin Dave. Brian Landis. Alexis Palenzuela. Jay Slim. Brian Radke. Padilla is checking in from the Big Bay Area. He says, today I'm 36. Happy birthday to you, sir. Happy birthday, John Padilla. Enjoy your 36, my friend. Let's see. Ty in the Bronx. Lenny Pena. Jay Slim, loving that H-bar. Is H-bar pumping or something? Why'd you put H-bar like that with a... Are we pumping? Because we got a lot of volatility going on today. Okay? A lot of options are expiring today. It's the end of the year. Explosiveness, one way or the other. We were at 96. Now we're at 95. With Bitcoin was at 96.7. It's now back down to 95.2. It was at 96.7 at 6 a.m. So it shows you how volatile it is. It went from 94.9 at 2 a.m., 94.9 at 2 a.m. 4 hours later, it was at 96.7. It went up $4,000. And now, 4 hours later, it's gone down 1,500. So we got a lot of options expiring, longs and shorts and all kinds of stuff. So look out right now. It could go well for you if you bought. You'll see it explode up. You could have, what I'm hoping for, a little bit more of a dip, which would be nice before we absolutely explode to the upside. H-bar is still at 28 cents, an enormous buying zone right now for H-bar. Not that I'm a financial advisor, not that I know anything about this stuff. Not me. I'm a schmuck. Cosa Nostra is in. The game in Cleveland is in the rain. Shouldn't be considered a cold weather win. To me, the cold weather stuff, I don't really look at that. It's big games, big teams, big moments. This isn't a big game. This isn't a big moment. You know what I mean? So they should win this game. Their problem has always been from Marino all the way till now. They choke in big games. They choke against the good teams. They're a finesse bunch that gets punched in the mouth. They could never run the ball and punch somebody in the mouth and be physical. Every once in a while, they'll have a couple of good defensive players. They had some in the Marino era. They've had some in the Jason Taylor era. They've had some post Jason Taylor also, but never a great defense. No, I mean, the Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas defense was a very good defense, but it wasn't a generational defense. It wasn't the kind of defense that was going to carry you to a championship like the Bucs or the Broncos from a few years ago or the Chiefs from last year. It wasn't that good of a defense. So, it's the same thing. This team has always been a choker for 40 years. Under Shula, all the way till now, they always choke in big moments against the better teams, and especially on the road. And in cold environments, they lose against all the good teams. That happens 90% of the time. Once in a blue moon, they'll win because that's the mathematics. Once in a while, you're going to get away with one, whether you're with Marino, Fiedler, or Tua. Doesn't really matter. But more often than not, Marino, Fiedler, or Tua, you're going to get your ass kicked because you've been part of a wussy-ass franchise for 40 years. Come on, say it with me. The Dolphins have been a wussy-ass franchise for 40 years. Say it with me. The Dolphins have been a wussy-ass franchise for 40 years. Say it with me. The Dolphins have been a wussy-ass franchise for 40 years. Doesn't matter if it's the Diesel running them over and making them look like a joke. Doesn't matter if it's the San Francisco 49ers kicking their ass in the Super Bowl and embarrassing the shit out of them, reminding them, you guys don't belong here. So Dan and the boys, get the hell out of here. Get out of our faces. Doesn't matter if it's the Bills in the 90s. Absolutely trashing and kicking their ass left and right. And it doesn't matter if it's in the 2000s where Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas's teams always ended with heartache because they didn't have an offense that could punch anybody in the mouth. Because they were a wussy-ass offense. They were a wussy-ass team that always gets their ass kicked in every single big moment the last 40 years. That's why they win nothing of significance, and that's why anytime they even got past anything like with Marino, it was nothing but a fluke. That's all. 82 was a fluke. 85 was a fluke. Because in the end, they proved that they didn't belong there. That's all. Overachieving, just like the Jimmy Butler years here. Overachieving, not real. That's who the Dolphins are. So let's not make shit up about what happens this weekend in Cleveland. They're playing a shitty team. Doesn't matter that it's on the road, and it doesn't matter that it's cold. They're playing a shitty team. If they win, they beat a shitty team. It has nothing to do with the cold. It has nothing to do with big moments or anything like that. That's all. Let's not make it more than what it is. That's what we've done with the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler. You made it more than what it really was. A flukish run. Let it go. So nothing goes on this weekend. You win, you're supposed to win in a meaningless season, and that's it, dude. That's all it is. A win in a meaningless season. Because you've put yourself there. Rosendo is in the house. The Dolphins Lounge. Jimmy Butler time with us has been a rebuild. It's just a rebuild the Heat way. James Vivinetti, Canes Vibe. 3.5-point spread, so they expect us to be close. Well, I mean, you don't have a good coach. So he can make it a close one. Let's see. Horn Dog. I don't have a good feeling about our Canes tomorrow. Haven't won a bowl game since 2016. You don't have a good feeling because of Mario Cristobal, not because of anything else. You have Cam Ward. You should feel good, right? But you have Mario Cristobal. Nico Jones. Dolphins are 7-8 in a terrible division, playing terrible out of a division schedule. What did they play? 2 playoff teams all year, and they still have a losing record. Good job, good effort. There you go. That's the kid from the Heat, right? Good job, good effort, right? Is that the one, the kid that was sitting there, that little video that went viral? Let's see, what else do we have? Man Dog. What goes on in a bangy dangy? Norberto 78. Good morning to you, sir. NorCal says, Big O, hoping you had a great Christmas with the family, healthy and nearby. Yes. Had a great Christmas with the family. I got to hang out and relax. So I was with my family. As long as I'm with my girls and I get to be with my daughter and my wife, I am happy as a clam, as they say. And then hanging out with my dogs. I had a perfect freaking Christmas, dude. Perfect Christmas. So cannot complain. Jim McHugs says, I've been bringing pro, college, and high school football. The season is going fast. Yes, it is. It's pretty much gone already. Pro and college for us locally. Let's see. Unfortunately, we start the season hot, and as fans, we predict a Super Bowl parade, but we go kaput, broke, and done for in December. Yeah, that's us. Remember, Nico Jones sequels usually are worse than the first go-round. Hip, hip, hooray for futility. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button, folks, okay? And we are here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, folks. Come on out at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines. I was just talking right now to Larry Schlossberg, and the lot is loaded. I'm seeing a bunch of ZDXs in front of me. The Integra 2025 right now, you can get it for $339 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. The RDX is in stock right now, the 2025 models, $399 a month. The ZDX, I'm looking at them right now, a couple of white ones, a blue one, a black one there. It's really, really nice. $449 per month, 0.9% financing for 72 months, no payments for 90 days. The MDX Tech 2025 model, $10,000 off the MSRP. They are in stock, ready for delivery. The showroom is ready for you. It's got a bunch of beautiful vehicles in there. The lot is absolutely loaded. You got all kinds of cars, and it's overflowing, by the way. They have too many cars that they don't fit in the slots. They have them like on the curbs all over the place. So that way you can drive up and pick the car you want, the color you want, the style you want, the model you want, right here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. And by the way, we are at the end of the month, the end of the year. This is the best time right here. This is when they're going to make you they want to sell you a car. They want to lease you a car. End of the year. Take advantage. Take advantage, baby. 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines. It is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. You know what? Let me do something that I normally don't do so early. Let's do a little music right now to kind of break it up a little bit here. All right. Why don't we do that? Wait a minute. Here we go. All right. Let's start off with musicians' birthdays today. And on the 27th, musicians born on today. Hayley Williams, singer from the band Paramore, born on this date in 1988. Happy birthday to Hayley. Who else? Walker Hayes, American country pop singer, songwriter Walker Hayes, born on this date in 1979. Matt Slocum, guitarist, keyboardist for Sixpence None the Richer, born in 1972. You always love the people that have just one name. Youth. Youth was born in 1961. He's a record producer, founding member, and bassist of The Killing Joke. Living in the 80s. Oh, 80s. I love The Killing Joke. Anyway, happy birthday to Youth. Way to go, baby. David Knopfler, younger brother of Mark Knopfler, co-founder of Dire Straits, born in 1952. Terry Bozzio. Nice. Drummer, Terry Bozzio. Okay, best known for his work with Frank Zappa. He also worked with Jeff Beck, Duran Duran, Robbie Robertson, and Richard Marx. Okay, wait a minute. You left out the missing persons. Like, he is missing persons. He wrote the music completely for the entire first album. Like, how do they leave out? Yeah. Life is so strange. Destination unknown. I just don't get that one. How do you? I know he did the Zappa stuff. I mean, come on. I mean, even when Cucurello came on and did the guitaring, he had already written all the music on the guitar for the first album. So Cucurello added just, I think, a few solos in that first album. That's it. Outside of that, Bosio had written everything. How do you leave out Missing Persons? Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, we continue. Larry Byram, guitars for Steppenwolf, baby. Born to be wild. Born in 1948, Mr. Larry Byram. Let's see who else. Martin Birch, music producer, sound engineer, became renowned engineering and producer, album for British rock bands like Deep Purple, Rainbow, Fleetwood Mac, Whitesnake, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden. He passed away in 2020 at the age of 71. Happy birthday to Martin Birch. Mick Jones, guitarist with Foreigner, standing in the rain with his head hung low. Couldn't get a ticket. Was a sold-out show. Heard the roar of the crowd. He could picture the scene. Put his ear to the wall. And like a distant scream. You do it. All right. Happy birthday, Mick Jones, 44. Good for him. Let's see who else. Mike Pinder, celebrating a birthday. Keyboardist with the Moody Blues. Nights in White Satin. Who else? And that's it for musicians. Let's go with other folk celebrating birthdays today. Brock Purdy is 25 years old today. Yes, sir. It says, hey, no. What is it? No, we got that one. No. Who else? Heather O'Rourke, movie actress. She was born in 75. We lost her in 88. Wow. Child actress. Yeah. Ooh, okay. One of yours, I see here. A big name, too. John Amos. We just lost him in 2024. Good times. The dad. He was born in 1939. Happy birthday to John Amos. Rest in peace. Nick Chubb is 29. Football player. Cynthia Carmona, TV actress, is 34. Olivia Cook, actress, is 31. Another wrestler. So I got a male and a female, both that I know, which is crazy. Let's see. Emily DeRaven, actress. She is 43. Who else? And that is it for birthdays today. All right, Sean Stanley, what do you got for us?
Yes, rather the extensive list today for wrestlers. Bart Gunn turns 59. Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli, is 44. Demolition Axe turns 77. Idris Abraham turns 33. Masashi Aogi was born in 1956. We lost him in 2022. The Wall was born in 1966. We lost him in 2003. Yuka Sakasaki is 32. Zelina is 34.
Oh, she was
Frankie
fine, man. What a loss, Selena. Damn, I didn't know she was a wrestler also.
Zelina Vega.
Okay.
Zelina.
Okay.
Frankie Fresco's favorite, Goldberg.
Saw that there.
He turns 58. He's looking to make a return, by the way.
At 58.
At 58, yeah.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Why not? Frankie wants him back.
Senior circuit. Okay.
Yeah. And finally, unfortunately, we lost her way too soon. China.
Yes.
Was born in 1969. We lost her in 2016. We know all of her issues she had.
Yes.
She was a great performer and actually transcended the diva to the WWE superstar. Those are your birthdays for December 27th, 2024.
There we go. And that is the great Sean Stanley. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. Let's go. Smash it, baby. Let's go with music history. What happened today on December 27th? In 1969, the top 3 albums on the Billboard 200 were Led Zeppelin's 2, the Beatles' Abbey Road, and the Rolling Stones' Let It Bleed. Holy shit. Holy shit. Anyway, 2008, thieves broke into the house belonging to the Allman Brothers singer keyboardist Greg Allman in Georgia and stole the coin collection, knives, and unreleased concert recordings. 2 men were charged with the burglary 2 days later. In 75, Queen had their first ever #1 album, A Night at the Opera, topped the charts in the UK. In 85, Metallica completed work on their 3rd studio album, Master of Puppets. In 99, Bush appeared on TRL to premiere the video for their hit song, Letting the Cables Sleep. And that is what happened today in music history. All right. I saw a very interesting story when it comes to music, but it's not the kind of history you want to make. So Brittany Ferlin outed her husband Tommy Lee for only showering like once a week during a visit on the Off the Vine podcast. The topic came up. My husband's very neat, which people wouldn't expect from somebody who's a musician, Ferlin noted. They would expect him to be an effing nightmare, right? Like dirty. I mean, he doesn't shower a lot, but he's very neat. He doesn't make a mess there. He's not big on showers, she continued. I feel like that's European, though. My husband was born in Greece. He was born in Athens, and his mother was Miss Greece, like so beautiful. And he said growing up, his mom, like the thing in Europe, you don't need a shower every day. They would just do it with the washcloth, and they felt like they were getting a little funky. But showers, my husband showers like once a week. When asked about the showering habits, she says, no, because he's so handsome, it doesn't bother me. It's really crazy. He's really a good-looking guy. He doesn't really give me the ick. Even if he doesn't keep himself clean, he keeps the house pristine. It looks like an effing museum. It's funny because the guys I've dated before him were very messy. That's a big yucky for me. A week? You know, I'll admit, there's a day where, I shower at night, go to sleep, and the next day I wake up and I'm home all day. Never left the house, whatever. And I may end up going the day without the shower and go back to sleep the next day. And now I'm sure I'll shower the next day in the morning when I wake up. But I didn't sweat an ounce. I didn't go out. Now, if I, like today, now that I'm out, that's it. I'm done. I'm showering when I get home, before I go to bed. But I've done that, but not like, I've done like a day. But it's because I was home all day and I was clean and I didn't have an ounce of sweat. I was inside the AC all day, which happens. That happens every once in a while where I get the opportunity to I never even leave the house for an entire day. It's beautiful. It's awesome. And I could, maybe that day I went without a shower. 2, 3, 5, 7 days? No, dude. I can't do that. There's no way. There's a week without a shower? Like, okay, I could do the one day that I was home and all that. That's, I can do that. Okay. That's possible for me. But, oh my God, a week. That's bad, bro. A week. Woo! Yeah, wipies. Wipies will get it done. Holy moly. Anyway. Let's see. Big O, are you doing a pre and post game show for the? Yeah. We are. Yeah.
We're gonna do a 4-hour pregame.
Yep. Exactly. 4-hour pregame, 4-hour postgame too.
Eating Pop-Tarts the whole time.
Exactly. Simon, good morning, Big O. Thanks for making the show for us every day. Even if our Finns let us down, you don't. Well, thank you, brother. But the Finns, do a great job of letting us down constantly, dude. It hurts. Happy birthday to Louis Pasteur. Thank you for saving our lives from food bacteria and the greatest set of legs ever, the actress Marlene Dietrich. Only Frankie would want Bill Goldberg back. LOL. I want Hank Goldberg back, not Bill Goldberg. Okay. Don't get the train in the summer in Europe. Well, that bad, huh? Yeah, no. If they're all Tommy Leeing this shit, I want to kind of stay away. If you're Tommy Leeing this shit, I kind of want to stay away from you. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get to our 3A Graphics Sports Calendar. Call Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. Custom printing and embroidery. Heat last night. Get it done over the Magic. 89-88. Miami improves to a robust 15-13. They've got at Atlanta on Saturday at 3 o'clock. Saturday, 1 o'clock. Commanders. I'm sorry. The Canadians. My writing is really bad. The Canadians are taking on the Panthers. They drop the puck at 1 o'clock. And then on Saturday at 1:30, it is the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Iowa State and Miami. UM favored by 3.5. The over and under is 56.5. And the 4-hour pregame show will start at 11:30, by the way. Okay, so tune in, Oscar. Tune in. 4-hour pregame. Last night, Seahawks defeated the Bears 6-3 in an exciting contest. Oh, yes. Woo. Yes, thrilling. Absolutely thrilling. That is your 3A Graphics Sports Calendar. Call my guy, Alan Blanco. If your company, corporation, school needs custom printing and embroidery, 786-618-1443. All righty. So Heat get it done last night against the Magic, 89-88. So the Magic still missing their top 3 players. I know. And they got Hero all over the place. He took 17 shots to get 20 points. He did hit the last one. He also had 6 turnovers. But how about that Bam Adebayo, bro? 2 of 10, 4 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 turnovers. He did have 5 blocks, so I'll give him some credit there. But 2 of 10, he is as big a star as it gets, baby. You guys couldn't have been more wrong about Bam Adebayo. Hey, but don't worry, next year will be the year he takes that step to become a star. Don't worry about it. It's coming. Yeah, it's coming. Hold your breath now, and it'll happen soon. You need 17 points from Alec Burks to beat them by 1. Depleted of their stars. Anyway, but the Heat have their stars, Bam and Tyler. So, this is part of our delusion. Like, to brag about last night's game and make Hero something out of really nothing. It's just like, it's pretty sad, dude. Like, he scored 20 on 17 shots. That's really not good, actually. Not sure if you know that, but that's really not good. That's really not an efficient player. But hey, he got a win. Let's write it up there like it's something. You know what I love? I love Mike Tomlin because he loses the game this week and he talks about his schedule and, and in a way, did you catch his press conference? Minor league isn't good enough. That's what he called his 10-win team. Because the wins are mostly against shit teams if you go look at the schedule. And the losses are against, it's very Dolphinish, actually. Go look at pull it up for me because you'll pull it up faster. The Pittsburgh Steelers schedule and their wins and losses, very Dolphinish. And go look at the press conference. At least he's willing to admit it. Well, we're not willing to admit with our Heat team. What's there to brag about, dude? We're supposed to be like, oh my God, Tyler Hero turning into some kind of a star or something? Are you serious? If you get a chance to trade him, do trade him. Oh, I'm in the best place I've ever been mentally and physically. Great, trade him. Great. Will anybody give you picks? Do it. Do it. I mean, really, are we falling for the banana in the tailpipe? What do you got? Go ahead.
All right, I'll go over
Is it better than I thought?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, we'll go over it and you can say they beat the Falcons.
Nothing.
They beat the Broncos.
But the Broncos were bad early. That's why.
No.
And they're good now. You're right. Okay.
They beat the Chargers. They lost to the Colts. They lost to the Cowboys. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Jets. They beat the Giants.
All shitty.
They beat the Commanders.
That's actually a good win.
They beat the Ravens.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that the game that Daniels missed? I'm just wondering.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, go ahead. Continue.
So they beat the Commanders. They beat the Ravens. They lost to the Browns. Then they beat the Bengals. Then they beat the Browns.
Yeah, the Bengals are actually a bad team because their defense is terrible.
Well, here's kind of where
they can score.
Here's, I think, where he gets.
That's a divisional game.
This is where he gets because the last 3 games have been the Eagles, Ravens, and Chiefs.
Yeah, the elite teams.
Yeah, but they did beat the Ravens early. They lost to them this time. So
well, they always beat the Ravens.
Yeah, they usually split
because they shut the run down, and then that's what you have to do with the Ravens. You shut the run down, and you can actually get to them.
I mean, there's a couple good wins there, but I can understand what he's saying. Especially
he called them the minor leagues aren't good enough because the last 3 games they were playing the elite teams and they were getting their asses handed to them, and they were like, okay, we're not really that good, and so. Check out that Bronco game. I mean, the Washington game. Is that the game that Daniels was out or injured or something like that? I'd be interested in that one because that's actually a decent game for them. Why is Benito putting JT the brick? What is that? Oh, okay. I love JT, so don't be picking on my guy JT. I don't want to hear anything bad about JT the brick. Okay. I'm just saying, just warning you out there. That's a friend of mine, and he's a really good fucking dude.
Yeah.
Bro.
No, Alex said
really good fucking dude. Like really good people. Like I know him. Really good people.
Alex had said R.I.P. Hank Goldberg also bring back the degenerate Gamble who would stay on all night on 560. Forgot his name.
Ed Kaplan, of course, to the last West Coast score. Yeah, I think Ed had his time and he had enough of it. After you've done it for a long time, yeah. Ed is one of my idols, bro. You know, Ed is one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. I have nothing but love for Ed Kaplan. What? He did play a game? He didn't have a good game? So he was pissed this week, and I love that because that's what our Heat are. They're minor league. They've been minor league for a while now. It's just we keep lying to ourselves about what they really are. And last night was a perfect example. You know, it's just like this whole fake PR move to try to elevate Tyler into something that he really isn't. But, hey, man, listen, if it pumps up the trade value, good. If you're actually thinking of long-term, bad. And by the way, if you're saying no, not JT the brick, they might have liked Pharrell on the bench. Might have been the other guy. Let me tell
you something about what's going on with the Browns.
And by the way, he really talks like that. I know him. Yeah. I hang out with him.
I thought it was a made up voice, honestly, and then I heard somebody play a message from him, just being normal, and I was like, oh man,
that's his voice. That's his voice. I always thought, like, how can you maintain your voice like that? Like, it would wear out. Like when I have some fun and I start going, I see stars of blue, sea of green, and I start doing the Louis Armstrong thing, my voice, like, I'll lose it within a half a minute of doing that, because there's no way I can continue doing the Louis Armstrong thing without tearing up my vocal cords. And then I'm going, how in the fuck did Louis Armstrong sing like that all the time? And it's like, okay, how does Brian Johnson from AC/DC sound like that all the time? And it's just, that's who they are. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes, the Kermit the Frog sound. Yeah. So, anyway. True Fin Fan says, like I've always said, Bam is a 4 on a good team. On a great team, he's coming off the bench. Hero as well. Tomlin is keeping it real. Pickens better stop acting. Yeah, and Pickens is, man, he's so talented. What is it about Steeler receivers, bro? Like, they pick some guys that are, like, volatile, bro.
That must be like one of the things, volatility.
Yeah.
High. Take them.
Yeah.
It's like Al Davis with the speed.
Juju Smith-Schuster is a clown doing all kinds of stuff. Claypool's a clown. AB, Pickens, and now this guy Pickens. Like, they know how to pick receivers, but they used to pick, like, quality guys. Now of the last, like, 8, 9, 10 years, they keep picking shady dudes, bro.
Because then you need to look at what Le'Veon Bell too.
Right? Yeah. No, of course. And
by the way, I know he's a running back, but
nobody more shady than Ben Roethlisberger. That's the most shadiest guy of them all. But at the receiver side,
but the receiver, it seems like it's every time
polluted. It is polluted, dude. It used to be like quality individuals back in the day.
Now it's quantity, not quality.
Yeah, like, wow, they're screwing up like crazy in that Steeler front office when it comes to the character of their receivers. They have failed miserably in Pittsburgh there in the last 10 years. There's no more Hines Wards and guys like that. You know, that was a different era. From the Hines Ward back, all the receivers were quality people and players. Now they're ultra talented head cases. Odd. Really odd. I would not use the Pittsburgh Steelers as a judge of character for my wide receivers ever again. Who's ever in charge there of that sucks. And the proof is in the pudding. You know? So it's crazy. And he kept Antonio Brown under in check for several years before they couldn't handle it anymore. That's crazy, dude. That is like, wow. It's whatever the Steelers are scouting right now, go opposite at wide receiver. Just that position right now. You know, they've lost their mojo there at wide receiver. That's for sure. No doubt about that. Let's see. We had a wonderful Christmas, Donardo. Thank you. Which position is harder to scout, draft, and develop? O-line or CB? Oh, my God, O-line, and it's not even close. They don't run block in college football. So you have no idea who can run block until they get to the NFL. Unless they play in a school where running is, all part of it, which doesn't really, there's not a lot of places anymore. Everybody's passing. Yeah, Army, Navy, right, exactly. Yeah.
And those guys don't have the build to play offensive line
Right.
in the NFL.
Right. Yeah, they need to fit inside a sub. Anyway, so you can't do that. So, that's a problem there. But that's offensive line is very difficult to scout now. The hardest position to scout is offensive line because you just have no idea if anybody can run block. You will not find out about somebody if they're a road grader until you get them into the NFL. How screwed up is that? Yeah. So offensive line is absolute killer. Dolphins favored by 6.5. Over and under is 39.5. So Vegas is expecting a scintillating game at 39.5. Tyreek is dealing with the wrist and ankle injuries. Pobrecito. This is why you don't make commitments to older players and players that already have a lot of mileage on them. Bad mistake. What can I tell you? Let's see. Yesterday, Anthony always injured Walker with the knee, Kendall Fuller with the knee, and Jordan Poyer with the finger and the knee. Did not practice. Teron Armstead did not practice, but he played last week, so probably plays this week without practicing like always. Limited Tua with the hip, Hill with the wrist, Waddle with the knee, Brooks with the quad and the knee, Dieskridge and Alec Ingold with the ankle. They were also limited. So that's what went on yesterday. Today's kind of a walkthrough anyway, so it's not really that big of a practice. We'll see what goes on. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Netflix streaming the NFL had 65 million people watching at one point for both of the games. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. 65 million peak. The NBA, by the way, 5-year high, 5.25 million across all platforms for the games. Still a fraction of what they saw in the NFL. And the worldwide numbers come out on Tuesday for Netflix. So that'll be interesting to see because Netflix is in a crap ton of countries. It was broadcasted like in 6 different languages. And by the way, it peaked at Beyonce's halftime show. Yeah. She looked good. I got to say, I watched it. I don't really give a shit about the music. It did nothing for me, the music, to be quite honest, okay? It did nothing for me at all, okay? Good for her that she ventured into it and all that, but the music was garbage in my eyes, just so you'll know. For those of you that like it, God bless you, enjoy it. The music was garbage. The visual, well, that was phenomenal. She looked great. I mean, it's impossible for that woman to just look good. She always looks like a 10 plus, dude. Always. God, she is gorgeous. She is gorgeous. But the music sucked in my eyes. That's my taste. Yes, sir.
They paid her $20 million for that performance.
20 million, huh?
Well, what they did was they worked out a deal where they gave her three Netflix deals for $60 million. So if you look at each one being $20 million, she's done the tour, then this, and then now I think she has one more left on the deal.
Okay.
And then they paid $150 million for the games. So look at $170 million investment, at least, just to have what they had on there. I just don't know how they're making. I guess the commercials,
revenue,
right?
Yeah,
commercials, because I'm not used to Netflix
and a subscription. Remember, I
but,
just told you they broadcasted it in 6 languages.
Yeah, but I mean,
so there's a lot of people paying for that stream.
Yeah, more people might have added to it for those.
Well, think about this: if 65 million watched just in the United States,
yeah,
okay, how much is Netflix a month? Just 65
There's
million
tiers. So I mean,
okay,
yeah,
but let's just
like
say
$10.
650 million.
Yeah. I wonder how WWE is going to do on there now. I mean, I know it's not football, but when you're offered to that,
it'll kick ass.
The international side usually doesn't get a lot of the WWE.
Now they'll get it.
If they do get it, that's going to be an interesting thing. It's going to be interesting.
So So if another 65 million worldwide are watching it, that's another 650 million. So that's $1.3 billion. So the 175 invested
doesn't mean nothing.
Exactly.
Because
that's just 1 month, doggy.
Yeah. No, I know.
That's
but
just 1 month of subscriptions.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because WWE was doing it no commercials, whereas the NFL had the commercials.
Well,
so
they
I'm
have
wondering
to.
what
They
they're
have to
going-
have commercials.
They're going to have to do something. They might do the side by,
And they will have commercials in between matches and whatever.
They said they
and they'll
would.
have.
That's
and,
what I'm wondering. Like if
bro,
something's
they
changed.
gotta put something in there to make some money, soccer style where
Yeah,
they don't.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be like
split
picture
screen.
split screen type
Yeah,
thing. I think.
of course.
Yeah.
And product placement will be in there. You know what I'm saying? They gotta make money, bro. They gotta make money. They gotta. Plus, you have a captured audience because you're not just switching channels. When you're on a platform, you don't really go out. You kind of stay on the platform because it's not like you can just switch to the next channel. You know what I'm saying? Pull up the guide, go to the next. No, you're locked in on Netflix. You have to go out, exit, go find something else, go play. When pocket kicks in, and then you don't do that. You never do that. So it's interesting, but they will make their money one way or another. They have to. Let's see, what else do we have? Don't forget, by the way, folks, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. Let's start off hour number 2 with the great Manny Navarro and our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Pop-Tart Report.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right. How you doing, my man? How you feeling?
Feeling great. Oh, how are you?
Excellent. Here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. But, before we get into football, let's get into a little basketball because yesterday, I think, was a watershed moment for the Miami Hurricanes basketball program. I think it was an incredibly sad day. I was actually disappointed in the way some people acted, fans-wise, not media. But, they were like, oh, yeah, it's his time, get him out there. And I think people are going to regret any and all of the things that some of them may have thought, because while their NIL program is really strong in football, I don't think they're going to step up in the way of basketball to the level of the North Carolinas and the Dukes and other programs that have a lot more money dedicated to that kind of stuff. I think it's the end of an era when it comes to basketball. I don't think the success you enjoyed between Leonard Hamilton and Coach L, I don't know if this program will ever reach those heights again, to be quite honest. I think whoever wanted to push him out, not on the UM side, I'm saying fans or whatever, I think you're going to regret that, and you're going to look back years from now and you're going to go, wow, that was the golden age of basketball for the University of Miami.
Yeah, I agree. I think, people don't realize how difficult it is to win in college basketball. You need the premier players, and the way the landscape is set up now, those guys are constantly in the move if they come into college at all, right? Some of them are just opting to play overseas. And so you can spend a lot of effort and time and energy to build a team, and from one year to the next, it's completely decimated by the portal. So I think what Miami enjoyed when they got to the Final Four a couple years ago and their run to the Elite Eight, all the success that they had under Jim Larrañaga, I think 20 years from now we'll be saying, man, those are the good old days. Kind of the way we do with football, right? Where we look back at 20 years ago and say the same thing.
But here's the difference, and I used, strangely, because of course I've been here for my whole life, I used Cindy Russo as an example.
Right.
You know who Cindy Russo is? She was a monster at FIU. A fucking monster. She would, I made Sean had no idea who she was, like a lot of people. And I made him look up the schedule, the records, like 22-5, 27-2, whatever. Like for like 20 years, she was kicking ass. Why? She had a feeder system. She went to Europe. She had European players like no one else, bro. She would get players that none of us had ever heard of. So she had a pipeline and a way to compete. Larrañaga comes to Miami. He had a way to compete. He had a way where he could use older players with a mix of younger players. And because he would get those guys that were borderline, they weren't NBA players, but they were just under, and they were smart, and they were, educated, and they were there for 4 or 5 years, and their bodies were developed. And so he could combat, UNC and Duke and get the best of them because he had more men on his team. They may not be the McDonald's All-Americans, but he had a system, a way of fighting it. Now that the system's changed, and it's all about money, and it's all about what you said, NIL, and let me get out of here if I don't get what I want within the first year or whatever, the whole thing changed. And I don't think people realize that it changed not only for the worse for Larrañaga, but also for the UM basketball program, because you can say what you want. They're not going to have the resources you truly need in order to compete at the highest level in college basketball anymore. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I think the easiest way to break this down for fans is imagine if the Marlins, Dolphins, Heat, and Panthers were all pulling money from the same place, right? You're not going to go and be a max spender in all 4 of those sports if they had one owner running that team, and that's essentially what the University of Miami is. Exactly. Imagine you're going to go football heavy, and that's the way every school is going to make decisions now, by the way. They're either going to be a football school, they're going to be a basketball school. Some will be able to be both. And I think
why? But why, Manny? But why? Because basketball's never been a moneymaker here. It just hasn't, dude. It's never. In fact, maybe you made a couple of bucks in baseball with Ron freaking Frazier. Okay? Maybe. I don't even know. But the Wizard might have pulled a couple of bucks back in the day because he was so ahead of his time. But outside of that, you got to put all your money in football because football is the one thing that's going to lift all ships. Nothing else makes money. Not women's basketball, not men's basketball. Now at North Carolina, men's basketball is going to make you money. At UConn, women's basketball is going to make you money. But at the University of Miami, there's just one sport. That's it.
Yeah, it really is, and that's a tough part, and that's why you need a coach like Larrañaga, who along with Bill Courtney. Bill Courtney was a big part of this, and he's going to be taking over the team for the rest of the season. But it's finding those fringe guys, right? The guys at the smaller schools that are hungry, that want to come prove themselves, and having those relationships and being able to bring them in. People talk about, well, you just made it to the Final Four with an entire roster made off of NIL. Yes, but they didn't pay top dollar for Charlie Miller and some of these other guys that they brought in. Those are guys that they identified as cheap buys, brought them in, fit them perfectly into their system, and won. And so when Larrañaga talks about I'm exhausted, what he means is I'm exhausted about having to do this every single year. And so what college sports needs more than anything else is some structure, some guardrails. If we're going to make this professional sports where it's about going to the highest bidder, well, then there needs to be some contracts. People need to sign a contract and be at a particular school for X amount of years, right? I'm signing away my rights to transfer for the next 2 years or 3 years, whatever the case is, but I'm also getting paid $5 million. So that's the way it has to be. Imagine professional sports, is what I tell people all the time, because they don't pay attention to college sports as much, right? So they always ask me, well, why is college sports out of control? Imagine if professional sports, everybody was on a 1-year deal. Everybody.
Oh my God.
How do you build a roster? How do you build a roster for the future? How do you sort of plan for when this player leaves in free agency? And
Yeah.
so that is the nuttiness of what college sports is right now. Everybody is on a 1-year deal, year to year to year. And so the guys who are successful at it, and mind you, the Miami Heat, right? When Eric Spoelstra has to re-sign a player going to free agency, it's not Eric Spoelstra who's signing. This is Pat Riley. It's everybody in their front office. In college sports, it's the head coach, Larinaga, and his assistant that are doing everything. There's no GMs. Yes, there's people who give money, but he's talking about, hey, I got to talk to an agent, about, hey, if you want to get in on this guy, it's 1.1 million. Like, that's nuts. Imagine if every head coach in professional sports had to also be the GM, the scout, go out and recruit play. Like, it's just too much responsibility for one person. And so that's why college sports is falling on its face right now and why it's such a disaster.
Yeah. And like I said yesterday, those of us that lived the Leonard Hamilton era and the Larinaga era, consider yourself blessed because you'll never experience it again. Just like in football, by the way, what we experienced back in the 80s and the 90s, you'll never experience that again. Miami will never get back to being that kind of a monster where they're winning all kinds of national championships. Can they win another one? Yeah, they can win one, of course. Are they going to be a dynasty again? No, dude. That if you live that, enjoy it, dude, because that's a once-in-a-lifetime type of thing that is not going to happen again. And I really feel that, sadly, in basketball, the best days are behind us, unfortunately. I really feel that, unfortunately. All right, let's get to the real stuff now. What is your favorite Pop-Tart?
I'm a very basic old school guy, dude. I'm fine with the strawberry filling. I'll take any of those, brother. It's I don't need any of these new world flavors that everybody talks about.
Although I got to tell you, when they did apple, it
was a good one, yeah.
That took me to another level because apple didn't come out right away. But when they
Right.
did take out apple, that's it. Although I will say, we had this conversation the other day. I'm taking a strudel over a Pop-Tart.
Most people would, for sure. Absolutely. Those strudels are delicious. I mean,
Come on.
yeah,
there we go.
no argument for me there, brother.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page here on the strudel. By the way, there is no way they're sending you to cover this, right?
Well, I'm driving up only because
Wow, you
we're
are.
having it's the Under Armour All-American Game Media Day on Sunday, which happens to be in Orlando, right next door to where the Canes are playing the day before. So
Okay.
I am going up, going to spend some time with my parents in St. Augustine, driving up later tonight, going to leave the kids there, then drive over to Orlando for a night, spend the night in a hotel, cover my 2 events, and then drive back to St. Augustine for New Year's with my parents.
Okay.
So that's my plan.
Okay. All right. Well, strong by you. I was like, wow, they're going to have him cover the Pop-Tart. That's insanity there. Although I got to say, is it about money with Cam Ward? Do we find out anything that he's under contract to play this game? That's part of his salary, that it's not so much coming from his heart, it's coming from his contract. Is there anything to that?
I think there's certainly some theories out there that this has to do with bonuses, right? And playing and again, this is all totally unregulated. College sports is completely unregulated, so all of these NIL deals can be contingent on whatever. It's X amount of touchdown passes thrown, X amount of yards, X amount of games started, X amount of whatever they want to throw out there. Did you play in the bowl game? We throw in another $250,000.
Yeah.
You can't blame this on the players. Like, I would do the same thing. And if he goes out there and plays one series, I think you have your answer of why he's playing in the bowl game.
Yeah. Oh, but I mean, does it say? See, that's the thing. No, you got to play in the bowl game, and you can only leave with an injury. You got to be able to play in the bowl game, and then you can leave if it's a route.
Depends what's in that contract. It just depends what's written in that contract. You don't know, and I think incentive-based contracts. And again, I haven't spoken to anybody in Cam's camp to be able to confirm this, but I have heard from other agents in the past that there are incentive-based NIL deals. So I think without question, this is probably part of that equation.
Because he has nothing to gain from this. He has everything to lose, and he will gain nothing by throwing 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. Nothing. His draft status will be determined by his offseason. He's going to go in the first round. How early in the first round? That's the question there. How he does in the meetings, if he plays in a postseason bowl game. By the way, was he invited to the Senior Bowl? I don't even know.
I'm not sure. I would assume he was. I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't be. He was one of the best quarterbacks in the country. So I imagine he's playing in one of these All-Star games. I'm not sure which one it is. I couldn't tell you because I didn't keep track of it all.
Yeah, I don't remember him saying. I don't remember an announcement of Cam Ward playing in any postseason bowl game, which I would think if I'm him, dude, I want to play in the Senior Bowl and go have a freaking awesome week and really solidify my draft status, like really increase, because I think Shedeur is the number one guy, but you want to get up there and kind of prove your worthiness. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know he made the Senior Bowl midseason All-American list, so I don't know if he ended up getting invited to the game as well. I would have assumed that, but I got to ask their director whether or not that's happened.
Nagy, who, by the way, he interviewed for the GM job for the Jets.
Good for him. Good for him. I mean, let's step up, man, right? All these years of doing that job, that's kind of the next progression, right?
Right? No, I mean, that's exactly what he does. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if he's ever done general managing of an NFL team or how high he's been in personnel, but I do know that he interviewed. I know Sean is searching. You haven't seen anything, right? I could always tell when Sean is working it because I see him working there, but he doesn't see anything on Cam Ward.
The last thing I remember with Cam Ward in the Senior Bowl is that he was a midseason All-American. After that, I have not. I mean, maybe it was one of those things that was being discussed and they just never finalized it or haven't announced it yet. They're waiting until after the bowl game. I don't know. I mean, that's something I'll find out when I'm in Orlando tomorrow.
Because that would have been huge news if he's going to one of those bowl games. And the fact that we haven't heard anything, I know the East-West wants to be competitive, but if he's going to play anywhere, it's going to be the Senior Bowl, overall. So it would have been great to see him at the Senior Bowl. That would have been a phenomenal week for him, to go out there. Maui Noah, how much has he hurt his stock this year at linebacker?
I think a lot. I think, it's one of those deals where he was exposed in coverage quite a bit. A lot of missed tackles. I mean, I think he was I think he was a day 3 pick no matter what. If he would have come out last year, he wasn't a guy that would have been, top 3 rounds. But I think he did affect himself and his overall grade for an NFL team. Might somebody still take him? He's a big-bodied, guy. Certainly, his brother is a guy who will get drafted higher. But I think he'll be on an NFL roster somewhere, even if it's just a practice squad. I think he'll be somewhere.
All right, follow him on Twitter, by the way, at Manny_Navarro. Don't forget, at Caneswear, you can get 10% off. Use our code BIGO10, and you will get 10% off. They got anything and everything practically with the Canes logo on it, so get on down there, get your gear, get ready for the Pop-Tarts Bowl, get ready for the off-season. What do you got for me?
So the Reese's Senior Bowl says, thank you to Coach Crispo and staff from Canes Football for having us on campus to hand deliver an invitation to QB Cam Ward.
Okay, so there's your answer.
No, I mean, that's just
when was that?
That was the 25th of November.
Really? Yeah, so they handed him an invitation.
But does that mean he accepted it? Right.
That's where I'm at, because somebody on here said yes, he was the first invite, so I went to find it.
Yeah,
he was invited.
He was invited, but he hasn't accepted. Okay,
or at least maybe publicly, they haven't said anything about it yet. So
yeah. Wow, I hope he goes, man, because that'll be really good for him to go to there and play in because I think the way he played this year was phenomenal, obviously, but it's not even close to realistic for the NFL. Because he sat back there and was able to scan the field for 15 seconds and
play Tecmo Bowl and scrambled around.
and the NFL is not like that, bro. There's a lot of stuff that you've got to do on schedule, and you've got to plant your foot in the third foot or the third step or fifth step, and you've got to be able to deliver the ball right away. And that he didn't do a lot of that, and I think he needs some of that to show people he can do that structured part of it, because that's going to be a bitch for him at the next level. I think that's going to be a little bit of an adjustment for him, because I didn't see a lot of it here at the University of Miami. That's not to say that he can't do it, but I didn't see a lot of it, so I don't know.
Right.
So
I'm with you.
It's interesting there. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro, and of course visit our friends at Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
We step into the world of big dreams, big moves, and big money. It's the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. After 40 years, the Big Cheese remains dedicated to serving the finest Italian dinners, pizza, pasta, subs, and salads. All of their pasta is imported from Italy and cooked fresh every day. Visit BigCheeseMiami.com. Now, let's find out who's the Big Cheese the Miami Hurricanes are working on with insider Manny Navarro.
Alrighty. Don't forget the holiday party platters are big at the Big Cheese, but go treat that person that you love to some great Italian food. All the pasta is shipped from Italy, cooked fresh daily, 305-662-6855. And if you're doing any kind of get-together for the New Year's, you can order any dish and make it a holiday party platter. Pickup or delivery, 305-662-6855. Ask for Billy or Gary or anybody out there. They will take care of you. Great people at BigCheeseMiami.com. All right, Manny, as always, Mario is hard at work recruiting. And, brother, he is hitting the top 100 hard.
Yep. Yes, he is. Five of the transfers, all five of them that they've landed so far in the portal are top 100 players according to the 247 composite rankings. A couple of those guys are one-year guys. They're only here for a year, but two of them are sort of 3-year eligibility players, which I think is more important in today's day and age, right? You want to be able to find somebody that can give you more than 1 year. And especially the secondary, which is a position that I think Miami badly needs help. Yes. We saw that happen in the Syracuse game at the end of the season. So the big pickup this week was Emmanuel Carnley, 6'2", 6'3" cornerback, another big-bodied guy. Started 6 games as a redshirt freshman this past season for Arizona. His PFF scores are not great, but I would tell you that based on scouts and people that actually watch this guy play, they think he's super talented and just needs to be in a better system, but has the talent to be a good player for him. So they've been able to get 3 guys in the secondary so far, which is good. And I still think they're going to be working to get some more.
I mean, listen, on the recruiting side, it's fun, but I don't necessarily get too excited. I get more, at least pumped up a little bit about some of these kids that have proven something. Yeah. And so they have played at the college level. You know, they have shown you something on tape. So now your people can actually go and watch what they've been able to put out there and then make their own determination whether they can play. That's why those kind of moves are the ones that you can get excited about. The guys you recruit out of high school, you have no idea what they really are. At least with some of these guys, there's some legit tape out there.
Yeah, and I think, again, we need to discuss the fact that so many guys enter the portal now after 1 or 2 years in college, right? Some of the guys Miami has lost in the portal are guys that just got here within the last year or two. So that's the trade-off with all of this. And so you've ultimately got to continue to look in the portal for established guys that have played a lot of snaps, that have experience, that have been on the field. And in Miami's case, every single one of these guys that they've brought in have played at the FBS level. Okay, maybe not all of them are Power 4 conference guys, but they played a lot. Like David Blay, for instance, Louisiana Tech, the big defensive tackle that they landed. The guy had 6 sacks last year, played against Power 4 teams. It's not just tape against Group of 5 type schools. So had success against better teams. So it's good evaluation. It's getting guys that are experienced. And I think that's what ultimately matters. You look at the rosters of the teams that are in the playoffs. Indiana, for example, perfect example with what Curt Cignetti did. He brought in a bunch of Group of 5 guys that played a ton. And that translated to 11 wins. And so I think ultimately college football, all the college sports are changing. The way you evaluate players, the way you build rosters is changing. When you can get a kid like Emmanuel Carnley or Zach Poyser from Jacksonville State, who was on a conference championship team that started and played a lot of games, you are setting yourself up well for the future, especially if you can pay them the way that Miami pays their football players.
All right, so let me ask you something, because this could be a catch-22 here. So you've got Williams waiting in the wings to start at QB. You had phenomenal success going out and getting Cam Ward. Okay, so do you do it again? Do you go out and get yourself the best QB that's available out there that has a ton of starts like Cam Ward? Or do you give Williams a chance? But if you go out and get another recruit, are you going to hurt yourself overall, and you're never going to land the QB that's willing to come and pay his dues, because they're going to say, oh, well, all Mario's going to do is go out and get the next one-year quarterback and the next one-year quarterback and the next one. Why am I going to go there and pay my dues? So how important is it to play Williams, or how bad of a message sent is if you don't play Williams, who has paid his dues for the last couple of years, including injury and everything, and he has waited for his moment, and if he doesn't get it, what is that good? Is that bad? How do we look at that? You explain it to me.
Well, it's a great question, and I think it's tough to answer, because ultimately, while you'd love to be able to just pull guys out of the high school ranks, develop them over time, and have them turn into stars, if Emory Williams fails, right? If Emory Williams goes out there, loses the season opener to Notre Dame, throws 4 picks, and the next week Miami's battling for its life, and you didn't sign a veteran quarterback, and you got to turn to a freshman or somebody else, you've totally, I mean, the program has taken a huge step back. Right. So I think every college coach looks at the way the transfer portal is now, especially the movement of quarterbacks. I mean, you look at the number of players in the portal, a lot of them are quarterbacks who were 4- or 5-star guys that still never got a chance to play because they were superseded by transfers. You just have to be good at identifying the right guy. And so if the right guy becomes available for Miami, and I don't know that any of them were necessarily the right guy, maybe besides John Mateer, if the right guy becomes available in the next month, if he drops off of the roster at Texas, for instance, Quinn Ewers decides, I want to come back to college one more year, and oh, by the way, I don't have a starting job anymore at Texas because Arch Manning is taking over, I think Miami gets involved there because they're looking to upgrade the quarterback position with somebody who has won at this highest level possible. And that's the same thing they did with Cam Ward. They waited until the middle of January to do it. So I think without question, they're going to play this smart. Mario Cristobal has the responsibility of leading this program to more wins and not fewer wins. And so you cannot risk it by just saying, oh, Emory Williams is good enough. Emory Williams started 2 games for you as a freshman and won one of them against Clemson and completed less than 50% of his passes in that game. So you cannot go into a new season saying Emory Williams is the answer and we have a bunch of other freshmen. You need to protect yourself, and I expect Miami will do that.
All right. They attacked corner. What's the next position they could be attacking NIL recruiting?
Well, I think secondary is still a place where they're going to look to add more depth and talent. Xavier Lucas is a guy that is kind of in a little bit of a mess at Wisconsin, trying to get out of that. He's a hometown kid here from South Florida. All expectations a week ago was that he was going to enter the portal. Wisconsin is, I don't know what's going on there behind the scenes, but he hasn't come into the portal officially yet. Once he does, Miami is, I think, would pounce on him. He was very close to committing to Miami out of high school, so he's a guy I think that's still in the mix. I think there's some other guys in the secondary, safety position in particular, that they're still looking at as well. I would say tight end. Riley Williams is a guy who just left the program, second-year guy. Didn't start any games while he was there, but played a lot of snaps, about 500 snaps, was in position to be a guy who would be a part of the rotation here at the tight end position. So I think if you can go out and land a veteran tight end, somebody to just, again, secure the room, right? Especially if you have injuries. If Elijah Lofton moves to running back or gets hurt, you're going to need somebody at that tight end position. They didn't use the tight end position a lot this year. Obviously, Elijah Royal had a decent year. But again, this is a 3-4 wide receiver set, this offense, the way it's constructed right now. So, and I think next year you're going to be more of a running team. So it makes sense for Miami to go out and find a veteran tight end, a blocking type guy who can help set the edge for your running game.
All right, so we've seen, again, every year we're going to see a lot of people leave, too, at the same time. There have been some defections. Are there any defections that Canes fans should be disappointed in?
Well, I think Isaiah Horton is one of them. I like
him.
Yeah, Isaiah Horton was a good receiver, third-year guy. Again, Miami losing somebody to an SEC school, going to Alabama at the receiver position. I think that's one that's going to hurt. I think Riley Williams is another one, just because he was, preparing to kind of step into that starting role, and be somebody that would be a depth piece. Everybody else, I think, is easily replaceable among the guys who departed. I would say those are the two that sting the most, and I would say Horton is one. We'll see what he does at Alabama next year. But, Miami's trying to address the receiver position. They've got one guy that they've brought in who's a veteran, CJ Daniels, comes over from LSU, started a bunch of games in his career previously at a G5 school. But I still think they're looking to add more experience to that room as well. So, but those two are the ones that I would point to and say those are the ones that sting a little bit.
All right. What are you working on The Athletic so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, I will be in Orlando for the Pop-Tarts Bowl tomorrow. I will also be at the Under Armour All-American Media Day event. I always do a recruiting confidential where I talk to a bunch of kids and ask them questions and don't put their name on it so they can talk freely and openly about some of the subjects I'm going to bring up to them. So those are all things you'll be able to read from me in the coming week. And I'm doing a ton of stuff on the transfer portal constantly, writing stories. And I just wrote a piece on Jim Larinaga and his decision to quit yesterday. So there's a ton to read at theathletic.com.
And follow him on Twitter, Manny_Navarro. Manny, drive safely, my brother.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend. Enjoy the family. Enjoy the New Year's, my friend. We'll catch up next week.
Same to you, brother. Take care.
You got it. There you go. The great Manny Navarro with our Big Cheese Miami Hurricanes NIL and recruiting reports.
You've been listening to the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. At the Big Cheese Miami, they continue to purchase the same high-quality ingredients that the most expensive Italian restaurants use. The difference is they serve large portions at a family price. Visit the Big Cheese at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. Call 305-662-6855 or go to thebigcheesemiami.com. Go Canes!
All right. Bitcoin at 94,000. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, man. It's a blessing. Load up in the 90s. Not that I am a financial advisor by any stretch. Let's see. Rojas, little music trivia. What was the best-selling album of the 90s? Wow. So, best-selling album of the 90s. Man, that is something very odd. Because I know that's going to throw me completely off. It's going to be something that I didn't think of. What's that? Oh, you looked it up already?
I know it, yeah.
Oh, you know it already. 90s. Jesus, I'm trying to go through that decade and think of the bands that were big and the music that was big. And the artists that were big. I don't know, man. I'm gonna throw something wild out there. I'm gonna say a Red Hot Chili Peppers album was the hottest album in the 90s. I have no idea. No idea. I'm just gonna go something weird. What was it? What did you find before Rojas comes in?
What I found was it was Metallica.
The Black
Metallica.
Album?
No, Metallica.
Which album?
Metallica.
The Metallica.
91.
Yeah.
91 it was released.
I think that's the Black. Is it the Black Album? It's just black?
Oh, I maybe
I think that's it. I think that's the one, right? Isn't that
I don't have it. I'm not looking at it. I'm just going off of if that's the one.
Okay. I don't know. Wow. If that's the case,
It says according to most sources, the best-selling album in the 90s considered to be Metallica by Metallica.
What do you got for us, Oscar? Let me see. Yes. The Black Album is 91.
Okay, no, I was just going off. I don't have a picture,
Yeah,
so I didn't know if it was the
that's-
all-black
that's-
one or not.
That's the one with sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight.
Here's
Huh?
another one that says the best-selling album of the 90s is The Bodyguard.
Okay.
Soundtrack.
Okay, that had a lot of hits, dude.
So,
And Whitney Houston was, my
we're
lord,
gonna
she
find
was.
out who he's got.
I don't know what he's got there.
Because
Oscar,
Metallica, the Black
wow,
Album.
Jagged Little Pill.
Is that what he's saying?
Wow, Alanis Morissette.
Jagged Little Pill on this one.
It is a great album.
Is fourth.
Is fourth?
Yeah, it's got the Bodyguard soundtrack sold 45 million. Again, I don't know where they're getting their.
Okay.
Millennium by the Backstreet Boys did 40 million. Come On Over by Shania Twain did 40 million.
Cutie.
Jagged Little Pill did 33 million. Metallica did 33 million. Celine Dion, ABBA.
Jagged Little Pill.
Wow. Celine Dion has 2 albums in the top 10.
Yeah, she
and
was.
then the Titanic soundtrack and
she was
Music Box.
hot in many ways in those days.
So I'm not sure.
Many ways, musically, physically, just everything. Hot. Yeah, Jagged Little Pill. Wow, it's a great album, dude. Great freaking album. God, it is groundbreaking. It is original. She is as original as it gets. Her anger that came through her lyrics, just, it was awesome. It was awesome. Great freaking album, dude. Great freaking album. Obviously, I love the Black Album from it. Horn Dog with the Chronic. I love it. Michael Jackson Bad Album. Did that get to the 90s? That was the 90s. Huh? That was early 90s, right? It might have been, yeah. I don't know why I thought maybe that might have still snuck into the late 80s, the Bad Album. But maybe you're right. Probably early 90s. Yeah. Let's see what else. Nothing by Oasis. Rosendo says, who had the best-selling album of the 90s? Best-selling single of the 90s. Oh, okay. I don't know about the best-selling single of the 90s. I'm not exactly sure. I thought it was going to be something really odd, but it was actually something very obvious. Metallica or Alanis, that's pretty obvious. That is pretty damn obvious right there. I would go with that. All righty. What else do we have going on in the world of sports and life and Bitcoin and everything else? I don't think we got any other kind of breaking news. Elton John. What happened with Elton John?
Best-selling single.
Really?
Candle in the Wind, 1997.
Oh, that's right.
The tribute song to Princess Diana.
Princess Diana when she.
Now, I don't know if that's what he's got. I'm just going off what the internet says it, so it must be.
Okay. That was a huge freaking song. Candle in the Wind. Yes. That was an enormous song. So I could see that, Best single, Lauryn Hill, Killing Me Softly. One time, two time. Oh, well, yeah. I see. Says Oscar says, I'm sorry, Sean, I have to correct myself. Best-selling rock album of the 90s. Jagged Little Pill, Alanis Morissette. Okay. Well, now you specified it. So, yes. Okay, that's a little different now. I don't see anything. Cowboys are shutting down Lamb for the rest of the season. So, Luka out for a month with the calf.
Yeah, it looks like Marcel Louis-Jacques just said Anthony Walker will not play Sunday.
Oh, God, Anthony Walker's injured?
Yeah, and Jordan Brooks is trending toward playing.
Anthony Walker injured. I am shocked.
And Mike McDaniel's optimistic Jalen Waddle's chance of returning from injury this Sunday.
All right. That's fine. That's good. Right, on the 4-hour Pop-Tarts pregame show. Yeah, we'll cover that. The Fugees, The Score, still relevant. It is a great album. I mean, it's just the shame was we didn't get more. Just like Lauryn Hill's lazy ass. We only got, the one album, and that's it. She's so lazy, she can't even show up to her concerts on time. To be that blessed with that talent and piss it away the way she has, really amazing, actually. She could have been a Hall of Famer. Not that I would ever put her in the Hall of Fame, although if you're going to put Kate Bush in there, I would easily put Lauryn Hill, by the way. Now that I think about it, yeah, if Stranger Things can get Kate Bush into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, then I'll put Lauryn Hill in there. But, I mean, I know. No, nothing wrong with Stranger Things. They had the power they had that they put Kate Bush in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If her song, that annoying song that she has, by the way, does not get played on Stranger Things, she does not end up in the Rock Hall of Fame because she doesn't deserve to be in the Rock Hall of Fame. Like, there's no part of Kate Bush. She doesn't even deserve to buy a ticket to go see the Rock Hall of Fame. Put it that way. Okay? Much less be inducted into the Rock Hall of Fame. That's a joke. But now that I think about it, if you're going to put that joke in, well, then I'll put Lauryn Hill's lazy ass in there too. To be fair, she got 8 kids. I don't care. So what? Don't matter to me. By the way, she was a disaster before she had the 8 kids. Who you kidding? She's been a disaster from the get-go, dude. Have you followed her career? If you're going to use the kids as an excuse for why she's a disaster, come on, man. Come on, dude. Let's see. 8 kids. Hell, that should motivate you to want to sing more and tour more. Go produce more money, bro. I mean, that's kind of, isn't that how it feels like a parent as it is? That with the more responsibility, oh shit, I gotta go get that overtime. I gotta go get another job. I gotta go get this. I gotta go get that. That's what us parents that's how us parents normally are. The more responsibilities we have, we feel like the more work we need to take on, actually. I don't know, but that's what normal parents feel like. Just saying. Yeah, no, I'm saying, but that's right. That's why she can have a few more concerts and have 8 more kids. And why didn't she get married to Tyreek Hill? They would have an entire city. Tyreek Hill and Lauryn Hill. Oh, it's Lauryn Hill, Tyreek. She wouldn't even.
It's a Hill thing.
It's a Hill thing. A hill of kids. Tyreek Hill, Lauryn Hill, we get them together, we can solve the population issue in this world. They're not producing enough kids in China anymore. They're not producing kids in America. But Lauryn Hill and Tyreek Hill, they don't stop producing kids. What are we doing here? We can now solve the world's population issue. Millennials, they don't want to have kids. Generation Zs, they don't want to have kids. But Lauryn Hill and Tyreek Hill, all they want to do is have kids. I say we get them married. That woman will live in a hospital. She can do 1 concert a year, in between pregnancies. Recovers for a couple months, back at it after that. Let's go. I mean, seriously, our problem is right in front of us. Italians aren't producing kids. I mean, no one's producing kids. It's crazy. These last 2 generations, they don't want to produce kids. But Lauryn Hill and Tyreek Hill, they can solve all our problems worldwide. It's amazing. Damn. We can solve the world's problems on this show sometimes. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that? We figure these things out. We just brought it. We bring the hills together. They produce a hill of kids. They produce mountains of kids. Is it a Hill thing? Do you know anybody else named Hill that has a lot of kids? Just wonder, does Randall Hill have a lot of kids? No, I don't think so, because he's been so busy over the years. Anyway, Big O, I'm surprised that Radiohead's OK Computer from 97 didn't sell more. Radiohead was enormous in those days. We built this city on rock and roll by the Hills. Yeah. If Lauryn Hill was as busy in the studio as she was in the bedroom, she'd definitely be a Hall of Famer. Nice, Lenny. Nice. I like it. Oh, man. Let's see. Reynaldo Hill. I don't know. Does Reynaldo Hill have a lot of kids? Randall does not, right? I don't even think Randall's, is he married? He is married? Oh, that's right. Okay. I know he's always on the run. So I could see if he didn't have a family I can understand, because he's always been on the go. So it's kind of tough for him. But we just solved the whole Hill thing between Lauryn and Tyreek. We screwed up. We should have put them together. We have screwed up in a big time way. By the way, let me tell you about R&M Contractors. We love Ray and Mike. They do excellent work. If you are looking to improve that home, that business, anywhere in Dade, Broward, the condo, by the way, they work in condos, which I know a lot of people need some help with their condos, and complete remodel. We're talking about full-blown appliances and all, waterproofing for your terrace, balcony, flood test report. You know how important that is nowadays. Impact windows, door installation. You need any of that, R&M Contractors can do it all. Go to their Instagram page so you can see a lot of the work that they've done. RMC Fisher Island, interior, exterior, drywall. They do level 5 finish. You want to take your home to the next level? Call my guy, Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. That's 305-345-3649 for R&M Contractors and Custom Drywall. Good people, man. Good people, great work. The work is absolutely phenomenal, impeccable, okay? Seriously. They take it to a level that you will, freak out, okay? Absolutely freak out. All right, folks. We are going to wrap it up here on a beautiful Friday. We will see you on Sunday at 2:05. We'll get you ready for the Dolphins and the Brownies, and hopefully they get a win. Hopefully they put together a decent performance on behalf of Larry Schlossberg, of course, and Mr. Zinn. Thank you for being great sponsors of our program, and, of course, supporters, and of course Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, all the amazing people out here. By the way, if you own or lease an Acura, Mike Chan, Jordan Ferber will take care of you in the service center. Those guys are absolutely phenomenal. We will see you on Sunday at 2:05. You all be safe out there and have a great weekend.